time. But joining us to discuss more on these various companies and some trends we're seeing within AI is Klein, the CEO of Suro Capital. And this is, I think, a really interesting company. You have a publicly traded company under ticker symbol SSSS, growth stage venture-backed capital firm, which really highlights some of these pre-IPO companies. So walk us through your company and sort of what you do and your role here, and of course, some of these Super Bowl ads.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me on your show. Suro Capital came into existence in 2012 with the belief that companies would stay private longer. And over that period of time, we've been able to invest privately in Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Spotify and Lyft and Palantir and many others over the course of the last 12 years. And the whole premise was, and it's probably an overused term, to democratize access to venture-backed companies for the general public. And that's what we do, and that's what we have been doing for over 12 years.
It's a really cool niche within public markets, allowing access to the everyday person to some of these companies that, quite frankly, are somewhat gatekept until they go public themselves. And so when you look at this and we look at some of the portfolio of brands, there's plenty that I think our viewers will recognize. You mentioned some that you've invested in over time, but Liquid Death is one that I believe is expected to see, we're expected to see a Super Bowl ad from. Whoop, which of course those who are golf fans will have seen that a lot on the PGA Tour. Patrick Mahomes as well, notable, is tied to that. But then even OpenAI. So talk to us a little bit about kind of the current portfolio of those companies.
Well, the Super Bowl is obviously a highly anticipated event for a great part of the country and around the world, with over 100 million viewers, and it's an exciting one for our portfolio as well. So there are three of our portfolio companies that are in and around the Super Bowl this year. The first one, as you mentioned, is Liquid Death. Liquid Death, which started as a canned water company and then went to sparkling water, flavored sparkling water, flavored teas, and now healthy soda, if you will. And it's been a viral growth brand. It does sales of approximately $300 million or more, and is growing extremely rapidly. Probably will go public early next year. It is the second most followed beverage company on social media. That's how they've grown. We're really excited because this year in particular, it seems commercials are front and center of the game. And there's been a lot of commercials that have been pre-released, several of them that are quite funny. I would suspect that when it's all over and done with, Liquid Death's commercial will rank among the top 5 or so commercials that people will have seen on Sundays. So we're excited about it, excited for them to introduce to a broader audience their product. You mentioned Whoop. I'll spend a moment on Whoop. Whoop is a leading wearable fitness tracker for globally for individuals and athletes. Patrick Mahomes has worn his Whoop through multiple Super Bowls. Golfers have, as you've mentioned, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, also wear their Whoop. It's pervasive on the tour. And finally, Cristiano Ronaldo also is now wearing a Whoop. So for the high-performance athlete, it is the wearable of choice, and it gets a lot of attention typically around when either during golf or when Patrick Mahomes is playing. And I'll pause, or I'm happy to walk through OpenAI and continue however you want to go.
Yeah, let's go there, because I have to say that while I'm a Whoop fan as well as a Liquid Death fan, OpenAI is where the markets are definitely fanning still. So walk us through sort of your strategy there and your ideas when it comes to OpenAI.
Sure, thank you. Well, first of all, OpenAI is doing a Super Bowl commercial. They don't, as far as I've seen, they don't typically do an awful lot of commercials. So that's pretty exciting. Today's also a pretty exciting day for OpenAI, is continued news reports, and just reported this morning again that SoftBank will invest $40 billion into OpenAI at a $300 billion post-market valuation, which is approximately double what it was about 6 months ago. So that is a real endorsement by SoftBank that OpenAI is the leader in AI. As far as what we think and our investment thesis in AI in general, and OpenAI specifically. So we believe OpenAI is the leader. I think the Stargate announcement with the president, with SoftBank, with Oracle, a $500 billion commitment over 4 years to build out infrastructure is a clear signal that OpenAI is a leader in this space. Their announcements over the last week of all their product announcements, again, clearly puts distance between them and some of the other AI companies. We took a view about a year ago that obviously AI was going to be important and how best for our investors to participate. And we determined that, and in the 40 years or so that I've been on Wall Street, I've never seen a supply-demand imbalance that we saw between the demand for compute and the supply of compute. In any sector of anything over my career, we've never seen that. So we wanted to understand how best to play in the AI infrastructure space. I think this has been validated through both the Stargate announcements and then the recent announcements by Microsoft and Amazon and Alphabet and Google committing over $300 billion this year alone into AI spend. So we made the largest investment we've ever made as a company in CoreWeave, which is probably the most anticipated IPO of the year. We made a $25 million investment, which is about 17% of our portfolio in CoreWeave. We do believe they are going to go public. We believe it's going to be very well accepted into the public markets, and we're very excited about it. And then the last AI investment that we made is probably a name that most folks haven't heard of, is Vast. And Vast is the leader in accessing and distributing unstructured data, and will be an important aspect of AI training and AI inference. So we're really excited about our portfolio in the AI space, and we're very excited about the Super Bowl and some of our names that are going to be there.
Mark, last question I have for you. Obviously, you talked about sort of the founding idea behind your company, seeing these big tech firms and other up-and-coming firms waiting a little bit longer and then coming into public markets as much more mature companies and seeing that opportunity. I think time has proven that a correct assessment. Obviously, you're involved in AI now. Is that still the key theme that, Mark, you and your firm are focused on investments for? Is there anything else that you see in the near future that could be the next big thing?
Great question. Well, one company we didn't mention is Canva, which we own. And I think Canva is a name that a lot of folks know and recognize as a leader in graphics design. There's 220 million monthly active users. They're doing $2.5 billion a year in revenue, and they support about a $32 billion valuation. They also will likely go public within the next 12 to 18 months. As we look forward, we look for, and we obviously identified the AI infrastructure trend. We continue to look at companies that either will directly impact other companies through the applications in AI, or the companies that are benefited from the efficiencies that they will gather through AI as well. So we are spending an awful lot of time there.
That's a great answer and great place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us this insight on a Friday. We so appreciate it. Mark Klein, the CEO of Suro Capital. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.